Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing Thai driving licenses. And this is a little bit of an opinion piece, but we'll kind of talk about Thai driving licenses. I haven't done a video on that in quite some time. Yes, it is possible for foreign nationals to get a license to drive in Thailand. In the past, it was a little more straightforward. It's become rather cumbersome, quite frankly. I'll get into it here in a moment. But, yeah, it's possible to do. Honestly, depending on where you are, it's been our experience, Bangkok is pretty difficult to get things done in. A lot of the land transport offices are heavily booked up, and it's just kind of difficult from the standpoint of, getting in the queue and just getting processed through. It's just a lot of demand. We found a lot of clients like doing this out in the provinces, although that may not be possible depending on the circumstances for any given person. But more the reason for this video is I was talking to a friend of mine who just went through the driving license process, and it literally took this person nearly a week. And it was just constant, he just told me it just sounded like constant bureaucratic obtuseness where, he'd take a test and the translations would be off, or he would and then he'd show where the translations were off and that he had answered the question correctly. And nope, didn't want to help. It just took day after day of dealing with what can only be described as just redundant bureaucracy for no real reason. It was almost, he described it as, it was almost as if they just wanted to put up a go away sign on the door, and they didn't want anybody to get a license. He eventually got it, and in this particular case, he got a motorcycle license, and he was telling me that, yeah, he really, usually in most cases, this was always my understanding, but usually in most cases, you can do both your motorcycle and driving license simultaneously, and you get both licenses at the same time. And to be clear, they are two different types of licenses here in Thailand, both one for a motorbike or motorcycle and one for a car, the standard car. But then he was told at the end of this, after he'd passed everything for the motorcycle, if he wanted to get one for a car, he would have to go through the process all over again, all the tests and everything, even though they were completely redundant. He would have to go through let's say not completely redundant. There's probably some slight differentiation, but I'm sure large parts of it could have been duplicated for both processes, and he could have done all of it simultaneously. No, they weren't having it. And I'm seeing this a lot. I'm really seeing this a lot. Unfortunately, I'm seeing it in the American immigration apparatus as well as here in Thailand, but it's just becoming like this overarching bureaucracy for bureaucracy's sake, where the process becomes the raison d'etre, the reason for being of some of these institutions, rather than understanding, no, the process is there to get people driver's licenses. Obviously you want to make sure they're competent on the road, but what he was describing was not a matter of competence. It was, driving competence or anything else. It was just a matter of again, bureaucratic obtuseness to the point of, like I said, it almost seemed like they wanted to put a go away sign up and just not let anybody get anything done. So I hope that changes. And frankly, I got to be honest, I've noticed a lot of less than optimal paradigms since sort of things have started easing up and people are kind of back getting into the old rhythms. Maybe we're just kind of shaking off the cantankerousness of the last 2 years. I hope that's the case, but I definitely hope we don't have to hear about folks going through what my friend went through with respect to the Thai driver's license processing, because really, what's the point of that?